Bitcoin is at 51K, everybody. Is this now the new normal? Is the new normal for Bitcoin 50K and beyond? Will we never see the 40s again? It's crazy. Chartmaster, what's happening?
I tell you, I think you're right on. All the prediction is that this year is a bullish year. I think that 50 may hold. If we go down, you'll probably hold at the 40s. There's a huge resistance now, support around 40 to 42. And I think if we do retrace, which every retracement in 2017 bull run was about 30 to 40%. So if it does hit, 54, 72, like people are saying, we could retrace to about, in the mid 40s. And I think that where the chart shows. So if we put in the chart over here, Pete had some good information about, what's happening with Ethereum. Ethereum should be kind of moving beyond Bitcoin in terms of gains, but it's kind of like, going sideways now. So what's happening with Ethereum? Pete, what's your thinking on Ethereum?
Well, my thinking on Ethereum is I started to think about sports. I'm an athlete, sports kind of guy, and I remember back in the day when Michael Jordan started to win all those championships with Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen started to play really well. You'd all of a sudden have some people go, you know what? Scottie Pippen's actually better than Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan, come on, it's only one Michael Jordan. And people are kind of doing the same thing. Bitcoin has gotten all the press. People think Bitcoin is the internet gold. And but some people are going, you know what? Watch out for Ethereum. It's actually going to do better than Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's going, nope, I'm Michael Jordan. That's what's happening right now.
I agree. Let's look at the charts here and see, what's actually happening. So before we jump into the chart, let's take a look at here. This was an article that we posted in a video a few videos ago of this website, Decent Trader. We're not affiliated with them, but they had some really good prediction of the near-term price targets for Bitcoin. And if we look at the chart here, maybe a little small, but I'll leave the link below there, or you can just go to decenttrader.com and look at the market news. You'll see what's happening here. What I want to highlight is that target 1 is about 54 and target 2 is 72. And what he's talking about is that it broke above the 40s, right? Now it's still moving to the upside. So if we do get a retracement, which we will, it'll be very interesting to hold above the 40s, which has a huge resistance over there. So let's look at the chart and see what the chart tells us. Pete, see, this is the Bitcoin Live. And for the traders out there, when I talked last time, we talked about this big, cup and handle formation here. That was this cup and handle formation right here, right? And I call in a trade of this is a highly probable pattern. So we would enter, around the 40s. When we were discussing this, was the 47, and the prediction was, around the 46 was the stop loss, and your target was 1.5x your risk. So if you risk, let's say 1,500, you would go for about 2,000 to 2,500. And if you're entering at 7,500, 47,500, you actually got way more, and the pattern held. Now, I call in that trade, and I also did not mention what I actually did. So I actually entered myself the Bitcoin trade, and I saw the same thing happen in Litecoin. Look at this. There was a beautiful cup and handle forming at the exact same pattern, and I split my money. So, you all know that saying, don't put all your eggs in the same basket. If you want to spread it out, diversify, you kind of decrease your risk. So I put it over here, and he actually blew my targets. So I had a target of, so I entered at the 192, and my stop was about 180. and I was going by for about 210, and he just blew it away. Look at it. It was about 220, 230, the peak was. I sold it about 215.
Nice, chart master. Good job.
Now, what do you think about Ethereum, Pete? Look, this is the 4-hour chart.
Looks like it's going just kind of sideways, just kind of sitting there. But you know what? This is what Bitcoin was doing last month. Bitcoin, for a long, long time, it finally broke that 20K, went up to 30K, went up to 40K just for like a little bit of a nap, and then dropped right down to 30s. And it hung out in the 30s all month, just trapped there like in a jail cell. And now we've got the breakout. Maybe, even though we thought February is going to be the breakout month for Ethereum, maybe we have to wait till March or end of February.
So if we see here, Ethereum had a little triangle formation. You broke out of the triangle formation, right? You went to the upside, you retrace. Now it's kind of going, sideways, So what's going to happen now? So is there anything here that we are seeing? I'm not seeing anything tradable, on this here. It's kind of going sideways, not really. What would be nice would be if the channel, there is a channel forming over here, right? So if you can see, it's at the bottom of the channel. So if you want to take some risk, it's actually a very, very good trade over here, because there is, look, if you see here, this 2 red lines over here, it's a huge resistance level. Let's see what the price is on Ethereum right there. So it is holding about 1750. So 1750 seems to be a very strong support line here. And actually a very interesting trade over here. So if we take a trade right now at the price is trading at 18. Let's make it, an even number, 1810. That's your entry point. You put, I stop loss right here, which is about, let's make it all even, right? 17. Make 1710. So you're talking about 100 points. So you want to go for 150. So your target will be from 1810. So you're talking about 1960. Is it going to reach? So if you look where it's going to be, it's at the top of the channel. So Pete, what do you say? I think this is a very tradable, pattern right here. If we see the long term here, is also showing some kind of resistance right around that level.
Well, can I ask you a question there, Chart Master, on longing and shorting? So I think 1960 is kind of a no-brainer. It will reach that. But when you do a long and a short, because I'm more of a holder, I'm a hodler, as they like to say. Do you have a certain amount of days? You have like 48 hours for it to go up or down, and if it doesn't happen, you lose? Or can you put it in for like 4 weeks and bet? I mean, how long do you have to make your prediction come true before you either win or lose your money?
Perfect. That's a very, very good. So, like we all say, right? Some people are busy professionals and don't have time to look on the charts all the time, right? Some people have more time, and some just use the plain software to make the trade for you. So there you have it. You have a trade now in, and then you don't babysit, right? Let's see if we can zoom out. So the trade has been placed. It would be nice if we can zoom out so we can see there we go. See, the trade is there. I have placed the trade, and the trade already has, see what I'm looking at, the channel, right? So if the channel hits the top over here, that is 1960. So probably, if you look at where the channel is trading, probably I'll be happy around 19. I like round numbers, right? That's where the big institutions look at it. So I can even take this trade, see if I can modify. So I want to make it, I cannot modify this one right now, but 1950 will be a nice place to get out. If you want to leave it, you can leave it. But this trade is in there. I don't need to babysit. It is there. It's a pattern. I enter. The bottom line is my stop loss in case it goes against me. The top red line is my target. Hey, if the pattern succeeds like it's showing over here, this is a highly probable trade and it's going to hit my target. You don't need to worry about. Some people get all nervous. Hey, it's passing 1 day. Sometimes it's passing 2 weeks. That's why the software can help you. Do not keep looking at the chart all the time. I'm a short-term trader. I look at the chart, I find the pattern. This is my trade, and I go look at another one.
Right, Guga. But what I was trying to ask is, do I have unlimited? Like if it hits 1960 at some point, I win, or do I just have like 48 hours, or do I have a couple of weeks, or do you have like once you put it in? If it happens 2 months from now and it happens and you put that stop loss in there, you win. Like how long
That's
do
correct.
you have? How long?
So the software has two things, has two settings. One is put in this trade for today. If it doesn't hit until the end of the day, close it out. The other one is leave it until hit, right? I forgot the actual name here. Let's see if he has over here market execution. But one is 1 day and the other one is leave it at basically unlimited until my targets are hit. So well, I'm holding.
How would you ever lose then? How would you ever lose? I mean, if you're at let's just say you're at 1800 and you predict, well, I'm going to put in a long at 1900, and if it hits 1900, I want to win, and if it hits let's see, you're at 1800, it goes to 1900, I win. If it goes to 1700, I win. Like, how would you ever lose? I mean, eventually it's going to hit one or the other, isn't it? I mean, how would you lose if you bet on both?
No, you cannot bet on both, right? So you are in here, I'm long here, right?
So you can't put in a long bet and a short bet. You can't do both bets.
You can put both bets, but what happens is you always want to risk less than what you're willing to make, right? So if you see what's happening over here, if you put that's a very good question, because a lot of people say, okay, I'm going to put one for the long side, but I'm going to put one in the other side. Well, there's a lot of fishing out there. So sometimes they know where some of the stops are. So the price may just go below your stop, take you out, and go to the top. So if you put it to the other side, then you're risking one, and then you're also making one. So you kind of even, so you're 50-50 at 1-to-1. And most of the time, 1-to-1 does not win. You're not going to win on the long haul.
I gotcha. Makes sense.
So you want to, look for the probabilities and see if you can have, the key is one, right? One risk to at least, 1.5. And like I said, if you keep this is, if we put our formula for success again, right? So I'm writing this formula for consistent profit, right? So if you take a look at the risk and reward, if you have a shitty system that is 50%, or it's not a shitty system, that most systems are out there are anywhere from a 30 to 70% win rate, but at 50 is just half and half, right? Can you win? Well, if you're risking less than what you're willing to make, you're going to end up on the top.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very cool. Very cool.
So, right, Pete,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, what are your parting thoughts for today? How would you play? Let's just stick with what's really moving. Let's stick to the big boy, Bitcoin. Right now, as we leave, I'll just put in the price. I'll just look and see what our current price is. And, since you're going to win the most by betting one or the other, we're at $51,228. If you were to put in a bet, would you be putting in a bet to the upside, or would you be putting a bet into the short side? What would you do?
So right now, I don't see an entry point. I like to have an entry. from the daily chart is continue to go up, right? So I need to have an exact entry so that I know my target and I know my risk. So look at the daily chart. There is nothing here, because what happened is if I put a trade here, it can retrace and then it can continue to the move up, or it can just retrace and then go up. So I cannot predict at the daily chart. Now, if we look at the 1 hour chart, maybe we can do some short-term scalping for smaller things. So is there something here that can give me a pattern? So I still don't see something here. If we look at the short term, it looks like, we are in kind of a channel up here. So if I have to put a trade right now, which I don't see a high probability trade, but if I were to put a trade, I will put it on the short time. I will enter short, and I'm going to show you how I will short the market. So if we short Bitcoin, so we are talking about a stop loss of about, let's say, 52. And then a target of about 49,500. So now again, we need to calculate to see if my risk to reward is actually worth. But this will be this is a position that I would enter. Why? If you look at it, it's actually really interesting trade here, because my stop loss is at above the channel here, which is if it continues to push to the upside, it will take me out. But according to the 1 hour time frame, there is this channel here that is likely to retrace down to the bottom of the channel, hit my target. And then from there, we'll need to look at where the chart is to see if it will continue or not. But this is a beautiful trader over here, Pete. This is actually a risk to reward that is actually fantastic. Look at it. What do you think?
It looks pretty good.
Right?
Yeah. So, but I also did hear what you said too. It's like it's not exactly clear. It looks good when you break it down like that, but it was tough for you to find. So, maybe sometimes too. I think. Let me know what you think about this. When you see things going parabolic and going up, and that's when the FOMO takes over, and so it can be very tempting to make a split-second decision to either bet long or short or get in. Maybe when you see things moving, it's time to, kind of wait a day or two and make a better, clearer decision.
Completely agree. I didn't see this before, but it does have a pretty strong pattern over here. So there's two things happening. So there's the channel going up here, and there is this. Look at this this resistance line here that was broken, and now it's forming a support. So this is clear, a very strong move. Now, the trade I have in here, it's kind of like you said, it's iffy. So probably wouldn't be a good trade. But if the price comes around here, this will be a fantastic buying opportunity. I'm telling you right now, I would actually be looking to buy right here and put my own money if the price hits here to go to the upside here, because we're talking about the price hitting this resistance line that has been broken, that is now support, and then continue to move up, which looks like the channel is to the upside, Pete. Okay. This actually looks a very interesting trade.
Okay, well, everybody should stay tuned for that, my friend. Very, very cool.
Very, very nice. So we're at the top of the hour here, Pete. Thank you for watching, everyone. And I will see you on Friday for the next session with some chart analysis and information on how to make money.
Take care, guys.